Welcome to our channel, Moon Sleep Stories. My name is Mushroom, and it is an honor to be your guide tonight. This is a space for you to let go, to rest, to leave behind the noise of the day, and return to the quiet rhythm of your breath. So take a slow breath in and exhale gently. Feel your body soften. Feel the weight of the day melt away. Now, let's step through the door together into a story woven with moonlight and dreams. A story that will soothe your soul, wrap you in comfort, and gently lull you to sleep. Welcome home. Let the journey begin. The night folds in like a velvet curtain. Outside, somewhere distant, a breeze hums softly through the trees. Your room is quiet, dim, and warm, the perfect cocoon. You lie back, feeling the tender weight of the blanket over your body, your chest rising and falling with a slow, steady rhythm. No rush, no noise, just the inhale and the exhale. You blink gently and let your eyes close. A subtle shift begins, like the earth tilting ever so slightly beneath you, as if you're about to slide into something deeper than just rest. It's that golden hour of the mind, not quite awake, not yet dreaming. This is the liminal space, the threshold between day and night, between knowing and wondering. Here, time bends, logic softens. You begin to notice the edges of your body melting into the mattress, dissolving like sugar in warm tea. The breath slows even more. You are beginning to fall asleep, yes. But more importantly, you are beginning to notice the fall. That noticing, that quiet awareness, that's the secret door to lucid dreaming. The first thing you learn here on the threshold is that your thoughts are not your enemy. You don't have to force anything. Let them drift like lanterns on a slow-moving river. Some are odd, a penguin riding a bicycle. Some are stressful. Did I send that email? Let them all pass. You are the observer now. The trick is not to control the river. The trick is to remember you're on the boat. You begin to tune in to subtle sensations, the weight of your feet, the gentle hum behind your ears, a quiet flicker of light on the back of your eyelids, even though the room is dark. Your mind, though, has started to paint. First with vague lines, a hallway here, a soft glow there, then a texture, maybe sand, maybe carpet, something soft under your feet. You are still here, aware, and yet the dream has already begun. Lucid dreaming is not a leap, it's a slide. Think of it as a moving walkway in an airport. You just stand still, let it carry you. The moment you try to sprint down it, you're jolted awake. But stand still, and suddenly you're gliding. And now, you feel it, don't you? That moment where you're almost asleep, but not quite. That's called hypnagogia, by the way. a fancy word for the psychedelic slideshow your brain runs just before sleep. Historians still argue whether the ancient Greeks saw hypnagogia as sacred or just annoying, like the original Netflix autoplay preview. Aristotle supposedly believed these drifting images were the soul beginning to whisper, slipping into the dream realm before the body followed. It's around this point in the night where people have reported hearing their name whispered or seeing a burst of color behind closed eyes. Some feel a falling sensation. Don't worry, it's not a glitch in the matrix. It's just your inner bungee cord saying, "Ready to jump?" You, however, aren't just falling. You're aware that you're falling, and that makes all the dish. Let's try a little exercise together, something simple. Let your mind imagine a door. Nothing elaborate, just a door, maybe wood, maybe brass, maybe carved with swirls or etched glass. Feel your hand on the handle. Is it cold? Smooth? Turn it. As the door opens, what do you see? Ah, you're still lying down, but your dream self just cracked open a secret space. Behind that door, a misty corridor, warm golden light pooling at your feet. Maybe the faint sound of water dripping, or faraway footsteps. You step through. You're dreaming, my friend. Not in the full, wild, technicolor way, not yet, but you're in the antechamber now. And while we're here, floating gently in this liminal room, let me tell you a little story. A historical one, but don't worry, this won't be on a test. Did you know that Leonardo da Vinci may have been one of the earliest lucid dreamers on record? It's said he practiced polyphasic sleep, short naps spread throughout the day to maximize creative output. Some theorize this gave him access to lucid states more frequently than the average Renaissance dude. He claimed to dream awake. And really, that's what we're aiming for. You notice now that your breath has slowed even more. You're not trying to sleep anymore. You're simply drifting. And in this floating place, your thoughts get weirder, lovelier. You remember someone from high school, wearing a giraffe costume, handing you a pizza. You chuckle. That's the moment right there, where you can choose to become lucid. The next time you see something surreal in a dream, don't just accept it. Ask, "Am I dreaming?" It sounds silly, but that one question, it's like pushing the secret button in an elevator that takes you to a hidden floor. The key is to ask it during the day too. Right now even, look at your hands, wiggle your fingers. Try to push one finger through your palm. Yeah, it won't work here, but in a dream, it might. Make it a habit. Soon, your dreaming self will remember to do it too. And then voila, lucidity. Weird historical tidbit for you. Tibetan monks were practicing this long before TikTok turned dream checks into a trend. They called it dream yoga, a practice to awaken consciousness within the dream. Not to fly around or fight dragons, though cool, but to better understand the nature of mind and illusion. Of course, your dragon is valid too. Now, as the threshold fades and the dream begins to take hold, notice one last thing. Even though you're half asleep, there's a tiny sparkle inside you, a little lantern of awareness. You're not snuffing it out tonight, you're taking it with you. The dream begins to construct itself around you. It's subtle at first. Walls, trees, a sky that maybe has 2 moons instead of 1. Gravity might feel soft, like walking on marshmallows. A pigeon just flew past wearing a little top hat. You smile, it's happening. You are dreaming, and you know it. And the best part? You don't have to do anything at all. Just keep floating, watching, and knowing. Like a director, watching the set come to life, quietly amused at the weird creativity of your subconscious. You are the dreamer and the dream. So here you are, inside the dream now, not just wandering it blindly, but watching as it unfolds like a stage play written just for you. The walls are shifting, the sky is a kaleidoscope. A squirrel waves at you politely from a floating park bench. You wave back, of course. You're lucid, aware inside your own dream. And that awareness is like slipping on a magic pair of glasses. Suddenly, things become clearer, stranger, more real in a way. You begin to notice the architecture of your dream world, how scenes blend into one another, how objects appear because you think of them, and how your emotions ripple outwards and color everything you see. Take a step. Where are you now? Oh, look, it's a bookstore, but the books are breathing. The shelves rearrange themselves as you walk past. You pick one up. Its cover says, How to Fly, Volume 9. You smirk. Of course there are volumes. Now's a good time to remember. The rules here are self-clay. You can mold them. Not through brute force, though. No one becomes a lucid dream ninja by squinting real hard. It's all about intention. Like surfing, you don't command the wave, you ride it. So, let's talk technique. There are a few famous reality checks, subtle tricks that help you recognize the dream while you're in it. Look at your hands. In dreams, they might melt, blur, or grow extra fingers like some bizarre jazz pianist. Check a digital clock. Dream clocks love to lie. Look away, then back. If the numbers change wildly or say something like, Pizza 13, congratulations, you're dreaming. Flip a light switch. For some reason, dreams struggle with artificial light. The switch might not work at all, or worse, too well. You flick it, and suddenly you're in the middle of a Broadway spotlight performance, complete with jazz hands. Historically, dream researchers like Keith Hearn and Stephen LaBerge pioneered the modern lucid dreaming movement. In the late 1970s, Hearn I'd not filled cares to ado in the very first plan, and that's one of the parches dares take out. You know, the person that I mused for out from the dream and experiences were relling part of proposing to event children, the dream for being one's Tuso and staring this time dreams, the dream stay, the corruption, then you use their end man, and you do things that mit to your livel when you know the deuces sleep. The dream is not to do when rained flay. The dream, you will say, then define. Then you can clues everything to inflect to a mention. Then you do the dreams. Instead, imagine your body becoming light. Picture the air lifting you. Feel the wind around your arms. And there you go, up, up, and into the twilight sky. You hover above dream trees. Below, an orchestra of raccoons plays gentle jazz. In the distance, a floating island carries a tea party hosted by, is that Nikola Tesla and a llama? Yes, they're arguing about magnets. You float, smiling. None of this makes sense, but it does to you. You pass a mirror mid-flight. Your reflection stares back, curious. And now, a whisper of doubt. Wait, if I'm dreaming, then who's that? That's when you remember. In lucid dreams, mirrors are tricksters. Some show your true self, others glitch out completely. One person once dreamed of looking into a mirror and seeing a fully functional fax machine. Yes, dreams are that weird. But mirrors have power. They're excellent portals. Want to change the scene? Step through. So you do. One foot and then the next. Now you're in a medieval castle. Candles float in the air, and a court jester greets you with a pie to the face. You laugh. It smells like blueberries. Through all this, you remain aware. That's the difference. Normally, we forget we're dreaming, like riding a roller coaster blindfolded. But now, you see the tracks. You built the roller coaster. Still, sometimes dreams try to pull you back into passivity. That's okay. When lucidity slips, don't panic. Just relax, breathe, and gently re-engage. One quirky technique dreamers use is the spin method. If you feel yourself waking up, spin your dream body like a ballerina. It often stabilizes the dream and shifts the scene. Picture yourself spinning now. The scenery blurs: rainforest, castle, floating city, childhood bedroom, and finally, you land. You're back on a train. Late night. The stars outside rush past. No one else is aboard except a librarian with a glowing compass and a sleepy elephant sipping tea. You nod to them. They nod back. The elephant raises an eyebrow. You're getting better at this, it says. You smile. Thanks. Now let's pause here, not to break the spell, but to marvel at it. Historians still debate whether early indigenous cultures considered dreams to be sacred journeys or just nightly entertainment. Some tribes believed lucid dreaming was a rite of passage, a way to speak with ancestors, visit spirit animals, and even receive guidance on community decisions. Others, like the Sonoy people of Malaysia, used dreams to resolve real-world conflict. Bad dream? Talk it out at breakfast. Dreamed of flying? That's a sign. Go try something new today. And you? You're building your own tradition here in the stillness of night. The train begins to slow. You step off into a city made of memory. Neon signs blink with names of people you've loved. Alleyways whisper forgotten jokes from third grade. A carousel plays your favorite childhood song, slightly out of tune. This isn't just a dream. This is your mind, painted in moonlight and metaphor. And the best part? You're not just visiting, you're participating. A cat with a monocle waves you into a nearby cafe. You order a slice of memory pie. The flavor? Bittersweet with hints of laughter. You take a bite and feel the scene shift again. You're floating, not falling, not flying, just gently floating, like a feather in a breeze made of thoughts. And now you begin to wonder, what else is possible here? Anything, really. But for now, let's just drift a little longer. Because you're not here to conquer, you're here to explore. And your journey has only just begun. You drift gently, like a leaf caught in a breeze made of silk and moonlight. Your breath is soft. Your body, somewhere far away now, feels like a distant memory, a pleasant, weightless echo. You are here, fully, lucidly, and the dream is blooming around you like a time-lapse flower in motion. The sky stretches wide, shifting color with every blink. It starts as deep indigo, then slides toward a soft orange pink, and now, aha, there it is. That gentle teal green no real sky ever shows. The one only dreams can get away with. Below, the ground shimmers like a painting half finished. You look down, and as you decide what's beneath your feet, the dream listens. A warm beach appears. Soft sand curls around your toes. It's cool at the edges and warm in the middle, as if the dream is just now deciding where the sun should have been hours ago. The sea glows a little, not from sunlight, but from bioluminescent creatures swirling beneath its surface. And then, the realization. You're not just observing anymore, you're shaping. This is the phase when the dream world begins to stretch its limbs, and so do you. The sandbox is yours. The only real limit now is the boundary of your curiosity. You walk along the beach, and with each step, something new appears on the horizon. A glowing temple, a stairway that leads into the clouds, a Ferris wheel made of vines and stars, a portal shaped like your childhood front door. Dreams love symbols. They're obsessed with them. They toss them at you like confetti at a wedding. Some meaningful, some just for flair. And now, because you're lucid, you can pause and ask the big questions. Why this door? Why now? And just as you wonder, the scene morphs again. You're no longer on the beach. You're in a massive archive, an endless library that smells like old paper and possibility. The bookshelves curve upward like rib cages. The ceiling isn't a ceiling at all. It's a vast cosmos twinkling gently above your head. A little historical footnote while you browse. Carl Jung, yes, that Jung, the shadow self guy, believed that dreams gave us access to the collective unconscious, like a shared library of archetypes and ancient images buried deep within all of us. He thought our dreamscapes weren't just personal playgrounds, they were shared blueprints, echoes from across humanity. So when you open a book in this dream library and see a painting of a golden fox climbing a spiral tower, well, you might not get it now, but somewhere deep down your soul does. And in this expanding dream world, you start to encounter other minds, or at least the suggestion of them. You turn a corner in the library and meet a tall figure made entirely of mist. It offers you a quill. Write your name, it says, voice like wind through reeds. You do. The quill glows. The walls ripple. Boom, the setting shifts. Now you're flying above an ancient city, not one from your memory, but from the world's. Terracotta rooftops, ivy climbing sun-worn walls. A dusty marketplace beneath you hums with life. The air smells like spice and thyme. Down below, someone's shouting about olives in Latin. Historians still argue whether the ancient Romans believed dreams came from the gods or just from dinner gone wrong. Emperor Augustus supposedly had a dream about a fig tree growing out of his navel. Interpret that as you will. Some dreams, it seems, are just that, absurd postcards from your subconscious. Others, though, they come carrying gifts. Back in the air, you glide toward a temple carved into a mountainside. The doors open for you, creaking like polite thunder. Inside, the floor is water, and you walk across it without sinking. Your reflection glides beneath you, winking occasionally. And there, in the center, is a desk. On it, a journal, blank but humming. You pick it up. The pages begin to fill themselves, not with writing, but with places, whole scenes, memories, futures, lives you might have lived, lives you might say you may still dream about. This is the dream mapping stage. Some lucid dreamers call it the sandbox. Others call it the mirror maze. You can explore old wounds here, rewrite endings, say things left unsaid, or just dance. You flip a page. Suddenly, you're in Paris, 1889. The Eiffel Tower is half built. The streets are lit by gas lamps and gossip. A mime offers you a croissant and tells you, in perfect English, that dreams are just reality in costume. Another page turns. Now you're underwater, but breathing just fine. Fish the size of buses drift past, blinking lazily. A sea turtle with a monocle and bow tie tips his hat. Been expecting you, he says. It's in these moments you realize lucidity isn't about escaping reality. It's about expanding it. The dream world isn't fake. It's just another layer. One where you don't have to follow gravity or logic or Monday morning Zoom calls. And sometimes the dream teaches you something real. You land on a platform floating in the sky. A woman sits cross-legged, sipping tea. She smiles. "Do you know where this is?" she asks. You shake your head. "This is the place you go when you almost remember something." You sit beside her. She hands you a cup of tea. It tastes like that song you loved as a kid but forgot existed. You close your eyes, and for a moment, everything is still. This is what some call a clarity node, a rare moment in a dream when all noise quiets and you feel something deeper. Truth, maybe, or grace, a knowing without words. And that brings us to a delightful little historical oddity. There was once a French artist named Louis d'Arget who tried to photograph dreams. Yes, really. In the 1890s, he believed he could capture mental images by placing photographic plates on people's foreheads as they slept. Spoiler, it didn't work. But he claimed he once saw a blurry picture of a horse. Still, the idea wasn't ridiculous. He was simply reaching, as dreamers do, trying to bridge the gap between imagination and matter, and that's what you're doing now. You sip your dream tea, the woman beside you fades, the platform dissolves into mist. You feel yourself floating again, this time not as a leaf, but as a whole sky. Everywhere you look, more doors, dozens, hundreds, each one leading to a different version of you. You as a dancer in Japan, you as an inventor in Morocco, you as a librarian on a moon base made of crystal. You realize that your dream self doesn't have one face, it has many. And you, the lucid one, you are the traveler among them. The dream world has expanded, so has your mind. And now, gently, it's time to walk toward the next layer. The lights dim, the colors soften, but the adventure, dear dreamer, is just beginning. Calmly. The air changes. You notice it right away. It's not colder, not exactly, just thicker, slower, like honey in the lungs instead of air. The dream hasn't gone dark, not fully, but the colors are more muted now. The once glowing sands and crystalline sky replaced by something softer, grayer, deeper. You're walking now, though you're not sure how long you've been walking. Through a quiet forest, a hallway that stretches into fog. It doesn't matter. The dream is shifting, and so are you. This is the moment many lucid dreamers don't expect, or maybe secretly dread. When the dream starts showing you things you weren't quite ready to see. Not monsters necessarily, but symbols, shadows, the parts of yourself you tend to leave out of the highlight reel. You pass a mirror, no reflection. You hear a voice. It's yours, but not how you remember it. A door appears ahead. It creaks open slowly, revealing, well, we'll get there. Take a breath, because here's the truth. The shadow is not your enemy. It's just the part of you waiting to be acknowledged. Even in a lucid dream where you can fly, shapeshift, or turn the moon into a disco ball, you will eventually stumble across something that makes you pause. A feeling, a memory, a figure. And instead of turning away, you're going to do something revolutionary. You're going to stay. Now here's where it gets interesting and historical. Back in the 14th century, a Christian mystic named Julian of Norwich wrote about vivid dreams and visions she experienced while gravely ill. In one, she saw Christ laughing, something deeply radical for her time. Historians still argue whether her visions were theological, psychological, or just really intense fever dreams. But she interpreted that laughter in the midst of pain as a sign that even suffering had meaning. Even darkness, she said, could be held with love. That's what you're doing now. You step through the creaking door. Inside, a room, bare, familiar. It might be your childhood bedroom, or an old apartment you forgot you loved, or maybe it's none of those. Just the feeling of something unresolved. You walk forward. A figure waits in the corner. Is it someone you know? Is it you? They don't move. They just exist. You approach slowly, like you're trying not to scare a wild animal or a wild memory. You sit beside them, no words, just breath, and then something remarkable happens. You reach out your hand, they take it. It doesn't need to make sense. Dreams rarely do. But that hand holding yours, it's warm, solid, real in the way that only the heart can recognize. You smile, maybe tear up a little, maybe not, because you realize the shadow isn't here to hurt you. It's here to be seen, to be held, to be turned gently toward the light. Quirky fact break, because even in the serious moments, dreams love a little mischief. Did you know some lucid dreamers report meeting recurring dream villains? One man claimed he kept meeting a judge with a jelly bean for a head. Every time he ran, the judge chased him. One night, while lucid, he turned and said, "Do you even like jelly beans?" The judge shrugged, "Not really." They've been playing chess together ever since. Moral of the story? Humor is a flashlight. Bring it into the dark corners. In fact, try it now. Picture your fear, whatever shape it's taken. Then imagine it wearing bunny slippers. See? Doesn't mean the fear isn't valid, but now it's approachable. You're lucid, you're aware. You have choices. You can stay curious. You leave the room, or maybe it dissolves around you. Dreams do that. Now you're in a train station, again, but this time it's dusk. The platform is empty except for a small child sitting on a bench, swinging their legs. You sit beside them. They look up. I used to dream about monsters, they say. You nod. But then I gave them sandwiches, they continue. You blink. Sandwiches? Yeah, the child says. Monsters are just hungry feelings. You smile. The platform blurs. You're floating again. You begin to notice now that the dream's darker spaces aren't so dark after all. They're just more honest. They're the places your mind stores things you didn't know how to process. Grief, embarrassment, longing, your third grade solo that went horribly wrong. But here, in this space, you can revisit them without judgment. Let's take a quick scholarly detour, because your dream self loves trivia. Some psychologists believe lucid dreams can be therapeutic precisely because they allow you to re-script events. Like editing a movie you didn't like the ending of. Others argue that it's less about rewriting and more about witnessing, being present to what once overwhelmed you. In other words, don't fix the shadow, just sit with it. Offer it tea, and maybe ask it if it prefers almond milk. Now the dream changes again. You're walking through a cave, not a spooky one, more like an ancient, echoing chamber carved into marble. The walls are covered in glowing handprints. You place yours against one. It fits. You feel a memory rush through you, not a specific event, more like a knowing. You've been here before. Not in this dream, not even in this life. Just here, in the moment of meeting yourself. And now, from deep within the cave, a hum begins. Low, gentle, comforting. It's the sound of integration, because you've faced the part of yourself that usually hides behind curtains and creaky doors. And instead of slamming them shut, you open them wide. You walk back toward the entrance. A lantern appears in your hand. The flame dances softly, illuminating the path. As you emerge, the world brightens again. The forest that once seemed ominous now glows with golden mist. The hallway leads to a balcony overlooking stars. The fog lifts. The shadow rests behind you, no longer lurking, but walking beside you, like an old friend, content just to keep pace. This is the gift of lucidity, not just to shape dreams, but to embrace them, all of them. The lovely, the rare, the ones that bring up tears you didn't know you were holding. You turn your lantern toward the next path. A spiral staircase waits, carved from moonlight and memory. You're ready to climb or descend or float. You smile and say quietly to yourself, I'm still dreaming. Alia, the dream has taken you deep past the cobbled streets and temples, beyond the stars and subconscious creatures. You're no longer a guest in this dream. You're something more than even a dreamer. You've become the weaver of this space, and in this final chapter of your descent, you explore the mechanics, the magic of lucid dreaming fully realized. It begins with a ripple, not sound, not sight, but a shift, like the sensation of a new idea arriving just before you're conscious of it. You walk across a still landscape, a field of soft sand under a black sky. No moon tonight, only stars, 1,000,000 of them blinking, and one blinks back. That star winks again. Closer now. It isn't a star, it's a thought, and just like that, it lands. You are inside a memory. Yours, maybe, or maybe not. The mind is funny like that. It stores not only your life, but sometimes pieces of lives that feel like they could have been yours. That might be the house you lived in when you were 6, or a version of it. That might be your grandmother's perfume lingering in the hallway, or the sound of your brother's laughter 2 rooms away. Or maybe it's none of those, and your brain is just playing jazz. It's improv night in the cortex. You walk down that hallway, fingertips brushing the wallpaper, humming a tune you didn't know you knew. This is not passive dreaming. You are making choices. Lucid dreaming, in its truest form, isn't just awareness that you're dreaming. It's the power to shape the dream's physics, tone, and cast of characters. It's the freedom to fly, yes, but also to forgive, to replay moments, to explore who you were and who you might still become. Tonight, your subconscious is staging a performance just for you, and you've earned front row seats and directorial credit. You step onto a stage. An audience of shadows waits silently. They might be your memories, your fears, old teachers, that one barista who always spelled your name wrong, who, wherever they are, they're not judging, they're listening. You speak, not out loud, but through feeling. You tell them you're not here to perform, you're here to transform. And that's when the stage changes. Suddenly, you're underwater. The sky becomes ocean. The audience becomes jellyfish, and their applause is a gentle, bioluminescent glow. You dive deeper, and now you're in a temple again, but it's no longer Greco-Roman or ancient Egyptian. It's something built by your own symbolic language. Pillars made of forgotten dreams. Statues of your childhood drawings. Walls covered in questions you never dared to ask out loud. And above the altar, etched in gold leaf, the words, "You are safe here." You touch the altar and it lights up like a warm lamp. Inside is a chest, and within the chest, something heavy. It's not an object, it's a feeling. Maybe it's a grief you didn't fully grieve, or a joy you forgot to return to. Maybe it's the echo of someone's goodbye, or the quiet comfort of a promise you kept. In your dream, in this lucid state, you hold that feeling. Not to change it, not to fix it, but simply to honor it. That's the hidden power of lucid dreaming. Not flying through the clouds with a cape, though sure, you can do that too. But the deeper power lies in emotional agency, in choosing to feel, in choosing to face, not just escape. Some researchers call it dream rescripting, others call it nightly therapy, but historians, oh historians, they love to dig further. Did you know ancient Mesopotamians believed that dreams were direct messages from gods? Oniromancy, they called it. A whole system for interpreting dreams, predicting war, or deciding when to plant crops, all from what the king dreamt after dinner. And here's the quirky bit. In some tribes of the Amazon, children are taught from an early age to control their dreams, like warriors train with swords. Lucidity isn't a curiosity, it's a rite of passage. Historians still argue whether lucid dreaming in ancient traditions, as seen as sacred wisdom, or just the first recorded case of everyone being extremely sleep-deprived and overly poetic. Back in your dream, the chest closes, the temple fades, and you're drifting again, now a beach. That same moonless sky, only the horizon glows softly, hinting at dawn. The sand is cool underfoot. The tide whispers stories only your unconscious mind can decode. You sit and watch. No more need to chase. No more symbols to solve. Just breath, just presence, just this moment of stillness at the edge of sleep and story. And as the waves roll in, you feel something else, completion. Like your dream, your inner world has nothing left to prove tonight. You've flown, you've faced, you've floated between memory and meaning. You've arrived. And now, my friend, you find yourself floating softly, weightless, in the quiet glow of a dream fully known and fully yours. No need to steer anymore. No need to chase or create. Everything you need is already here, drifting, glowing, breathing in time with you. The air has slowed like a tide just beginning its long retreat, pulling you gently into stillness. Each breath is softer now, deeper, like the hush before dawn. You did so well tonight. You traveled through shadows and mist, walked on moonlit dunes, and soared through skylines drawn from memory and stardust. And somewhere along the way, you remembered that you were the dreamer. Even if you forget by morning, even if it slips away like fog from a window, know this: your subconscious remembers. It holds the key. It will keep opening doors for you again and again and again. So let the last traces of this voice fall away. Let it become part of the landscape, a distant hum, a flickering gentle tide. The body is warm, the mind is still, and the soul, oh, the soul is resting in the stars. You're safe here. You're exactly where you need to be, and there is nothing left to do. So breathe one last time with me, in and out. May your dreams be vivid, your night be long, and your waking soft. Sleep well, dear dreamer.
Welcome